Hope everybody's having a good day, and I'm just going to read this to my community just to make them aware. March 2nd, 2023. And get out here and you can see me better, maybe. There we go. March 2nd, 2023. This is my proposal, and I'm letting everybody know that I'm going to be moving and rapidly preparing to move. So I wrote all this down, and I'll just read it to you. And I am coming before my community to discuss moving for the various reasons. The number one reason is it never rains in my town anymore. And there has not been a decent rain in this town since 2019 is how long it's been. The forecast for my area is said to remain like this here. And like last month or a couple of months ago, there was a sizable municipality about 18 miles above where I'm at now. And their water supply ran bone dry. And they were bone dry for at least 3 days it was. And there was a person that I had gone to Bible study that had told me about that particular municipality running out of water. And this was like a month or so ago. Well, there's another municipality that's just about 8 miles east of there. And I went fishing day before yesterday, and it was so low that, the fishing dock was just about to get out of the water on dry land. And so that municipality, there was another guy that was fishing on that, and that person said that all his farm ponds ran bone dry, all his animals died, and his well is going to run dry any day now. And that's like, from where I'm at now, that's probably 10 miles from where I'm at right here. And I feel that since the water supply for my town, the supply that it runs on is dropping anywhere from 6 inches to a foot a month. And I was looking at the lakes, and one of them since my birthday has dropped a foot, which was February the 15th, that dropped a foot. It was ridiculous. And I would say that this continued La Nina pattern that we're in, my town will probably be out of water, or the faucets run bone dry. Probably, if it doesn't rain here, I'd say we'll be bone dry by August, probably. Guessing at it. Or maybe September of this year. If we have another hot bone dry summer. And I have to say, it has rained more in Southern California than it has along the Kansas-Oklahoma border. And the droughts and every single storm skips this town that I'm in east. And there is no rain in sight, none, not a drop whatsoever in the forecast. And if we ever get a drop, it's just a little sprinkle, and that's it. Diablo winds push it off to the east too fast to do anything. I say Diablo for a reason, meaning devil winds. So I was saying every single storm skipping me east and no rain in sight. And my town being in the Atacama Desert, I also just don't have any desire to live here anymore. And the weather and the water and 2 towns running bone dry above me by just a few miles. And then the thought of another very hot bone dry summer here is in the forecast, so I think I need to look at moving because that's getting pretty serious. The second reason I'm going to be moving is because the houses on my block are inside a school zone. And the school building that's in that school zone has been in a work zone, meaning renovations, construction work going on constantly in a work zone every single day, 100 feet from my home for a year and a half now. And this mess has gone on now for 6 days a week, and sometimes this has gone on Sunday. And it's gone on for about a year and a half that long. Plus, I am also in the heart of a sizable city. Nothing like Boston or Atlanta or, New York City, no big city like that, but I'm in the heart of a sizable city. And I feel also the fact that the houses are like 8 feet apart on my street, and almost every house on my street, which is like 100 yards long with 15 houses, that's just how long my one little street is. Well, every house that's about on my street has anywhere from 3 to 8 outdoor dogs per household. Then the streets behind me and the next block have the same amount of outdoor dogs. And they're always going off constantly. So I basically also, besides the drought and all of that, I live in a puppy/dog mill, is what I call it. And I have lived in a puppy/dog mill since July of 2019 when I had some bad problems and had to move spur of the moment. And so now to another thing, the city that I live in has dug up all of the streets in my neighborhood that is not related to all of the work going on within the school work zone. And they dug up all of the streets in my neighborhood once in 2020. And then in 2022, the latter part, for 6 months, the streets that are above me, they dug up all the sidewalks in everyone's front yards. And this work zone went on for 6 months to replace utility lines. And they are supposed to dig up my whole neighborhood again and dig up all of my front yard and the neighbor's yard any day now again. So the fact that I had been in a wholesale construction zone non-stop since 2020, this is the year 2023, and we're into March now, and it's all still active. I am also wanting to move because of that issue. And besides living in a puppy dog mill. And there is more nuisance noise in my neighborhood than at a dog shelter. No joke. At certain times I've recorded it so I can prove it. And this is at all hours of the day or the night sometimes. And people's dogs are always constantly getting out around here too and running around, and I still can't figure out why people desire to listen to that every single day, for years like that. SMH, I'm shaking my head. I feel that also the times we're in, that number 3, it would be best that I live out into the country. The constant work zones in my neighborhood and how it never rains anymore. We never even have a thunderstorm here. I mean, my area probably hasn't had a real good thunderstorm in probably at least a year. I'd say it's been at least a year. And the same old never-changing pattern has also greatly worsened my mental condition and my diagnosis, and it has greatly worsened my mental condition of autism, depression, and a bipolar disorder. And the last 2 months of 2022 were the worst 2 months of depression I have ever experienced in my 47 years. And like I said, I'm autistic, I'm bipolar, and I had some severe depression. Around November and December, I had severe depression. I didn't want to do nothing. And I am at a place I have just lost all hope of ever getting a pattern change for the better in this location. And me having also on top of all of that a major illness, I had the flu in the first part of 2023, and then I had a big scare that I was having a major stroke last month. But it turned out that it was a phenomenon that's called ocular migraines, is what it's called. And that's not a dangerous issue, that's a nuisance thing, to where you get all flustered and you'll see kind of like a kaleidoscope, in your eye, kind of pattern like that, and it'll start out small and then it'll grow and then it'll go away. It's called an ocular migraine. And me being in this pattern for 4 years has had a lot of adverse effects on my mental health and then my physical health. And all of that stress for years, and then a lot of stress in 2018 and 2019 at that apartment was a compounding effect, and it has had bad effects on my blood pressure too. And another issue I'm going to move on is because I can never talk with anyone about what's bothering me or what I need to talk about. I have to force to hold things in the area I'm in, and that has been very detrimental to my mental condition on the long term. And last night, March 2nd, 2023, I had a dream that I just left here. I just went and got in a truck and just left, and I didn't come back. And the Lord had a song on the radio to describe this mess of how tired I was of being in the wilderness and the hopeless pattern, the droughts, the illness, and just nothing ever changing. And the song was by Elton John, and the title is called Sad Songs Say So Much. And this is why I'm fixing to just sell everything here. And with the value of everything, hell, if I sell it before we run out of water, I can probably turn a decent profit, probably. And that's going to be the good news, is I can probably turn a decent profit on this place if I move now, versus wait until next year or something like that. So this is why I'm fixing to sell everything and pack up my sentimentals and head east where it still rains, spiritually and literally. And I'm fixing to put everything on the market here and be done with the Atacama Desert forever. So a fourth reason that I'm moving is the neighborhood that I'm in, the county bus barn is literally 150 feet from my home. And all day long, on top of beeping construction equipment and digging up everything all over the neighborhood, all I hear from 6:30 a.m. every day till 5 p.m. or later in the day is beeping buses constantly, except it's less of a frequency during the summer. And I am also fixing to talk to a lot of people around me in surrounding states that don't get skipped on all the rains and storms, that are not in a danger of running out of water in a few months. And I am fixing to talk to one person in Missouri about moving, and I'm fixing to talk to several of them about moving to Arkansas. And then I'm fixing to look at maybe moving back to my native state, of Georgia, which I'm not going to move back to the Cartersville or the Atlanta area. I'm going to move out somewhere because the traffic in those areas is absolute unholy nightmare. It's awful. And I don't want that either. And I have to say that California got more rain. Even Southern California gets more rain in a year than and I'll just say the word, than my fornication under crown of king, effed up town gets. So I am saying, y'all, it's time for me to pack. And I thank you everyone for leaving your comments below. Thank you for your advice, and thank you for praying for me on this situation, and thank you for saying things that could possibly help me pack up and get out of this area and move out of the Atacama Desert and sell everything I have and be gone from here. And I thank you, and I needed to talk. And I just gonna say, I have a new YouTube channel now. It's called Rare Breed. I uploaded a time lapse to it, and that's all the content that's on the new channel for now. But if you hadn't, go check out Rare Breed. And I've had so much going on that it's unreal. But thank you, everybody. This was kind of lengthy, and thank you for everybody for listening to me. I needed to talk here with my community, and I thank everybody for your comments. I thank you for your prayers, and thank you for any suggestions. Much love, everybody. March 2nd, 2023.